Welcome to another exciting installment of MLG Weekly, your #1 source for banelings, headshots, and multi-kills. This week we profile the regional winners from the MLG Online Qualifiers. Weekly Warfare sees 2 more teams duke it out, and JP returns with some Starcraft tips from Sase.
Second pylon on 16, and start saving up energy to chrono boost on your Nexus.
We've got a top 5 that reviews the most successful Halo teams of all time, and our game of the week features Korean superstars Qulaifiers and MKP.
By all the queens, oh, there should be a transfuse. He doesn't have the energy for the transfuse. The queen dies.
So don't touch that dial because MLG Weekly is coming up right now. This past weekend, GUNNAR Optics hosted a Call of Duty LAN that featured pro teams Optic Gaming and Envious. The event was broadcast online and featured a Q&A session, an open lobby where fans got to play with the pros, a skills competition, and an exhibition match between the 2 teams. After the dust had settled, Team Envious stood on top, having defeated Optic Gaming 5 games to 1. This past weekend, top Street Fighter players headed to New York City for an evening of exhibition matches. The main event featured a battle between Moons and NY Chris G, which Moons won 5-2. Other winners from the event included Long Island Joe, Spider-Man Kid, Predator, and Winch. Finally, MLG concluded the Korean leg of its Winter Arena Qualifiers. This was perhaps the toughest of the 3 qualifiers, as it featured some of the most prominent StarCraft 2 players fighting for 8 available spots. In the end, Nesty, Harding, Bosira, Marine King, Oz, STC, Gonzi, and San all made the cut. That's it for the scope out, but we'll have more coverage of the Winter Arena Qualifiers later on in the show. The MLG Winter Arena Qualifiers have been filled with exciting matches featuring the best players from around the world. This week, fans were treated to an amazing game between 2 of the most dominant players from the Korean Peninsula, Bosira and Marine King Prime. Bosira is a 19-year-old Zerg who plays for Team Incredible Miracle. Like many Korean pros, he got to start competing in Brood War, but moved to Starcraft 2 when the newer title was released. While his early results in GSL competitions were less than spectacular, he snagged the Code A win in March of 2011 and was competing in the more prestigious Code S competition by May. In the GSL July tournament, he clawed his way to the finals, but lost to fellow teammate and Zerg, Best Team. Bosira saw his highest MLG placing at the Columbus competition, where he once again lost in the finals, placing second to MMA. His streak of second place finishes continued into 2012 when he reached the finals of the second Arena of Legends competition, where he lost to Zerg player Dongray Gu. Most recently, Bosira finished 3rd in the MLG Korean Qualifier, which earned him a spot at the MLG Winter Arena Tournament. Marine King Prime is notorious for 2 things: finishing second at nearly every StarCraft 2 tournament he attends, and his superb Mass Marines micro. The 18-year-old Terran first broke out onto the scene as one of the top players on the Korean ladder and proved that he was a force to be reckoned with by finishing second to Nesty at GSL 2. At the next GSL competition in January, he placed second once again, losing to Nesty's teammate MVP in the finals. Due to his strong performance in early GSL competitions, MKP was invited to the Arena of Legends tournament in October of 2011. At this prestigious Korean event, he managed to break his streak of second-place finishes by defeating DRG 4-1 in the finals. Marine King Prime's first event outside of Korea was MLG Orlando, a trip that was sponsored entirely by his foreign fan base. At that event, he fought his way from the open bracket all the way to a 5th-place finish. At his next MLG tournament in Providence, he would once again fight his way through the open bracket, eventually placing 13th after losing to MVP. Most recently, he earned a spot at the MLG Winter Arena Tournament by placing 4th in the Korean Qualifier.
We have Daybreak as the first map today, and starting in the bottom left in the red, we have right now our Zerg player from Team Incredible Miracle. It is none other than Lushira.
And over here in the top right, from the Prime team, also known as Marine King Prime, is going to be the Blue Terran. Hellions are coming out here for Marine King. Already got the bunker set up, no surprise there. And he's actually going to follow this up with some Banshees as well, doing the old switcheroo with the racks onto the Tech Lab. Meanwhile, in camp, Luceri's got the Roach Horn going down. Does he have an Evolution Chamber? No, and he's not on Lair Tech either. So This is looking kind of scary. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting situation across the board, really, as the Roaches are working their way across the map. The Hellions are sitting right outside the Zelnaga Tower. They're going to get some Lings in the background. If he smells blood enough, he can go straight up the ramp.
In case you didn't know, Hellions are really, really bad against Roaches. They don't do that much damage. So.
And here we go, actually. The Banshee now right outside. He's using the Banelings, bypassing the bunker. He's going to go straight for the Marines over here at the minerals, or excuse me, the SCVs. And, well, he connects on some, but it's really not the best connection. But now the Roaches are coming in. A handful of Hellions here to fend off these Roaches.
And by now, Marine King already lost 20 Harvesters. So this is really, really a bad situation for him to be in.
If those Marauders can get over and connect, even though there's a total of 3, they're going to be able to take down those Queens very, very fast. But there is a lot of Lings here.
Yeah, and the main problem for Marine King now is that his economy is so much worse than his opponents. Another Banshee gets targeted by all the Queens. Oh, there should be a Transfuse. He doesn't have the energy for the Transfuse. The Queen dies, and the Banelings stream down the ramp. This attack by Marine King will not kill Lucera. It won't do enough damage, even though the Banelings now connect with the Marauder and not with the Hellions, which is something that you don't want to happen. And here come the Mutalisks straight for the main base now.
They're going to go southward and try to take out these Banshees. The Banshees are going to close. Marine King going for a big attack here. He's going to put on some aggression because he knows he needs it, but
at the bottom left, though, we have now Marine King approaching, taking down all 3 Queens, scanning ahead in order to kill the creep tumors and make sure there are no burrowed Banelings. Attack the defense by Lucera. He has a lot of Banelings not going for the tanks, trying to connect with the Marines, doing a very, very good job. The Zerglings take care of the tanks, and now Marine King dropping in supply down to 85 against 150. The Mutalisks still going strong in the main base. This is looking pretty good for Lucera now.
yeah, I mean, that attack, while valiant, is not going to do a whole lot, as all he's got to do is just move forward with the Lings here. Doesn't have near enough of an army to deal with this. Marine King's going to go ahead and pick up.
Well, those Mutalisks just snipe everything in their path, and he should not be able to reach it. That's the GG. Just trying to fake a little bit of pressure, but nice positioning with the SCV. It's protected by the minerals as well, but that is not enough. The SCV is dead already. Another Marine leaves the main base of Marine King.
Here comes some more aggression coming out of the Marine King. 1 Hellion, 3 Marines, and a lone SCV, but that second Queen popping out is really going to do some damage here. As look at that, that control was incredible. And we are still waiting on tech. We see a lot of Roaches coming out for Lucera. Still no Baneling nest though.
Once again, he does not have a lot to defend against the Roaches. He doesn't have any Marauders and no tank production.
And here we go. Lucera is leading with the Lynx. He's going to cancel almost everything here. Pull all the SCVs. Going to use this choke point to his advantage, as the Lings are now focusing down the orbital, and the Roaches are holding the units at bay here at the ramp. This is not good. He does have to lift, and Lucera has just kind of got Marine King's number, I feel. He's just been so dominant in these past 2 games.
And might just try to take his opponent on. Nice Ling attack from the front and the side. He's just to go into the main.
Oh no! No, the Ling's slipping into the main here as the Roaches deal with the units down on the ground. The 3 medevacs are really helping out a lot. Yeah, and here we go. The Lings right outside the base. They're going to be able to catch a handful of Marines and this tank, and that is not good whatsoever. So smart, taking 3 of those Lings and going straight for the mules now. Looks like Marine King's going to be pushing into the main here, assuming the natural of Lucera. The Baneling's trying to connect, and they will do so. This is just looking so bad for Marine King, as now he's got Lings to deal with in his main base.
He picked up a couple of his units and is now just trying to get back into his main with the medivacs, but here is Lucera streaming in with additional Zerglings, and what can Marine King do? He's pulling SCVs now, which is kind of a desperate move, and finally the medivacs arrive, but is it in time to defend his base? I actually don't think so.
Being dealt, so many SCVs being taken out, 10 total. GG, and that means Lucera is going to be the 2nd player now who will be joining me here from the Korean region in New York later this month for the Winter Arena.
That does it for this Game of the Week. We'll be back next time with another exciting match. On this week's Top 5, we will look at the most successful lineups from Halo's 8 seasons on the MLG Pro Circuit. Coming in at number 5 is the Team Instinct roster of Lunchbox, Roy, Ogre 2, and Pistola. This team won 3 Halo Reach tournaments in 2011, including that year's national championships. And while the 2010 version of Final Boss can claim to hold the same record in Halo 3, Instinct has yet to place outside the top 8, something that Final Boss did immediately after winning their national championship. Additionally, Instinct wins bonus points for their dominating performance at MLG Anaheim, where they blazed through the entire bracket without dropping a single game. At number 4 is the straight ripping lineup from 2008 and 2009. The roster of Elamite Warrior, Snipe Down, T-Squared, and Legit won 3 events, one of which was the 2008 National Championship.
And then becoming our 2008 Halo 3 National Champions.
No other team that won 3 events has managed to do so in 2 separate seasons. Additionally, with the exception of one event that featured a different straight ripping lineup, the team never placed out of the top 8 for 2 straight years. At number 3 is the Carbon roster of Ghost Diami, Karma, Shockwave, and Gandhi. This team won 3 events in 2006, including the National Championship, and then won their 4th event in 2007.
They are the undisputed top team in MLG and the 2006 National Champions.
They kept the same roster for 12 events, never placing out of the top 8 for both Halo 2 and Halo 3. Their defeat of the legendary Final Boss cemented them as one of the greatest teams of all time, and Karma's streak of 6 straight 1v1 tournament wins created one of the most memorable seasons in MLG history. Holding down the number 2 spot on the list is the Final Boss lineup of Ogre 1, Ogre 2, Walshy, and Strongside.
And Final Boss wins it! What an amazing finish to an incredible year. Final Boss cementing their place in history with a 50-49 win.
After disappointing losses to Carbon at the last 3 events of 2006, the Twins and Walshy reached out to ex-Carbon member Strongside. With their years of experience, the team was able to hone Strongside's natural talent to form the second best team of all time. This lineup won 6 events, one of which was their flawless victory at the 2007 National Championships. The team transitioned successfully to Halo 3, where they won the Meadowlands opener. Although they saw a drop in placings later that year, they never finished below 7th place. And finally at number 1 is the lineup of Ogre 1, Ogre 2, Walshy, and Saiyan. While this roster was called by many different names, the one thing that stayed consistent was their impeccable placings. The team never saw a finish outside the top 2 and won 13 events, one of which was the 2005 National Championships. In 2005, they won every event they attended save one and took the first 4 events of 2006. With a record that's twice as good as the next team on the list, it's unlikely that anyone will ever best the results of this legendary squad. On this week's player profile, we take a look at the 3 regional winners from the Winter Arena Qualifiers. These 3 pros defeated the best players from their respective continents to earn high seeds for the Winter Arena tournament. Violet was the first player to earn his top seed for the Winter Arena when he won the European Qualifier earlier this month. In the winners bracket, he defeated Swedish Terran Show and German Protoss Socket before losing 2-0 to Rhett in the winners bracket finals. In the losers bracket, Violet took down Thorzane 2-1 to get another chance at Rhett in the finals. He did not squander this opportunity and won 4 consecutive games to become the top-seeded European player.
Violet is going to win the tournament here, 4-0 in the grand finals.
The 21-year-old Zerg player was one of the many Starcraft 2 pros who got their competitive start in Warcraft 3. Violet currently plays for Team Empire and made his MLG debut at Providence. At that tournament, he fought his way through the open bracket to finish in the top 32. His most recent placings include a win at IEM Sao Paulo and a 4th place finish at the 4th Home Story Cup. Additionally, Violet earned a Code S spot in May of 2011, which he managed to hold on to through August of that year. Druby is a Canadian player who's been competing in StarCraft since the Brood War days. In October, he participated in the GSL Code 8 qualifiers, but lost in the first round. Druby has been participating in MLG tournaments since 2010, when he placed 5th in DC and 8th at the MLG Dallas National Championships. His placing saw a decline when the level of competition rose in 2011 with the arrival of the Korean players. In September of 2011, Druby traveled to Korea to practice at the MVP house prior to MLG Orlando. Unfortunately, he ended up placing last in his group and was knocked out by Stefano in the first round of the tournament. Druby enters the MLG Winter Arena as the champion of the North American Qualifier. On his way to clinching the top spot, he defeated Inori, Artist, Optic Zero, and Axlab. In the semifinals and finals, he faced Adoro, whom he beat without dropping a single game. In fact, during the entire North American Qualifier, Druby only conceded 1 game, which was to Optic Zero. Nesty is a Zerg player hailing from Seoul, South Korea. The 29-year-old got his start in competitive gaming as a coach and player for the Brood War King KT Bolster, but later made the switch to Starcraft 2. During the early GSL seasons, Nesty formed Team Incredible Miracle with Brood War veterans MVP and Lucira. Nesty is best known for winning multiple GSL tournaments, including GSL 2, GSL May, and GSL July. He also placed well in non-Korean tournaments, finishing second at both BlizzCon 2011 and the MLG Global Invitational. In the Korean Taiwanese qualifier, Nesty was the player to beat. During bracket play, he defeated Alive, Gonzi, Killer, and Oz to earn a chance at parting in the winner's bracket finals. Nesty won that matchup 2-1 and improved on his performance when the two met up again in the finals. During that series, the legendary Zerg swept parting to take the top spot in his qualifier. On this edition of Weekly Warfare, Team Obey takes on the Yes Men. Check out the highlights from their best of 5 series right now.
So Breezy versus the world right now. Not looking good for Obey here in round 1.
Well, if anyone could do it, it's Breezy. If Breezy's going to find someone in the sights, he's going to take him out. That'll be Tickle Me Golden. But yes, it's going to be Breezy versus Jenny, and Jenny going to take him out from behind there with that MP7. Breezy going through the arches, but he will fall.
Here's Caboose just hanging out in the window. Oh, look at that. It's a Breezy. Boom. 2 rounds in a row. And it looks like he will get this. I'm looking over at your screen to see where Caboose is. Caboose is nowhere near. So the bomb is down over at the A bomb site. Breezy making his way to the top of the bridge, and check that out. Caboose is out in the open.
4-1. Here goes your final kill cam. It will be Golden, who's going to be up top stairs. He's going to take some shots, but he's instead going to take out Breezy and be resilient in that one. And Yes Men taking the W on this. Pretty impressive play by them. Yeah, and Breezy's going to be pulling the flag there, and we're going to be on board with Genyan, as he is going to be inside of the base and waiting for the flag guy to come in. That flag guy will be Breezy. There goes one guy, 2 guys. Oh, he's going to miss it. And instead, he's going to get the flag cap. Breezy with the 1 flag cap. Unbelievable.
And his flag is out, so they got to wait until his flag is returned before they are able to score. That is why it says wait there back at his base. And now it's really going to be which team can go for the flag return first. Breezy doing a great job defending himself at the moment, taking down Caboose.
Yeah, and you're going to see Flowers in a gunfight over here. He's going to win that one. Beautiful fight by Striker.
But he bought time for Crump to push in on the flag. He does take out Flowers. The flag being returned by Crump. Will Breezy be able to put this one in? And
yes,
it looks like the score now 2-0. So great work from Obey as they're able to capitalize on the flag stalemate situation. All right, so Flowers stops a 4th flag, and it looks like Obey trying to carry it in. It is too late, though. They will finish our first round with a lead of 3-0. So great start here from Obey. The final kill going to Tickle Me Golden. So now it'll be 5-1. Obey knowing what they're doing here for CTF. Nice defense so far, but check it out. 2-3 here as we do have a 3rd flag being scored here by the Yes Men. They will take game number 2, tying our best of 5 series up at 1-1. Crump will be back at B with next as they take down Flowers to start this one.
Yep, and now you're going to see the final kill cam. Breezy found Caboose right in his sights. He was trying to be crafty with it, made him pay. And Breezy, such a steady shot on that guy. You know, you can always count on him to come out with that clutch last play.
Breezy, the last one alive here for Obey with the bomb. Not a good situation. He's got 3 opponents in front of him.
Yeah, and Breezy waiting it out. That's what you want to do in Search and Destroy. Genyan will be watching the bottom construction there, sending out some nades. Oh, beautiful kill there.
Coming from next, here he is. Check him out one more time. The slippery slipsicle. Taking it to the body, getting airborne, and finishing out game number 3. Slippery Slipsicles, aka Obey, now will lead the series 2-1. Now the flag will be carried by Striker as Breezy will clear the way with a headshot on Flowers. Striker taking shots in the back. Next will clean up the kill on Genyan. Perfect teamwork here out of Obey, and the flag will be routed in by Breezy. Excellent, excellent flag cap. This is Striker getting 2 kills in a row here. Looking up top glass for a 3rd. Everyone really just taking turns, and it's all a team effort. You gotta give a shout out once again to Crump, and Breezy is really starting to heat up now with the ACR.
Oh man, Tickle Me Golden almost got away with that. Caboose is gonna be in a gunfight. He's gonna get a two-piece.
The flag now being ran, and you got Breezy hot on the trail, but it looks like we have our yes man putting it in. He is going to be sprinting through Broken, trying to get to the beer house hallway where he's got cover from his teammates. Shots coming down, a player in his spawn, but nice work by his teammates to clean it up, and here we go, Obey with a final cap here in the last 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Obey are the victors of the Weekly Warfare Tournament. They played superbly on CTF and really just surprised the Yes Men who came up strong in game one.
Well, that wraps it up for this Weekly Warfare. We'll be back with more Call of Duty action in next week's episode.
What is up, everyone? JP McDonald here with another tips and tricks for StarCraft 2. This week, we'll be taking a look at the quiet yet deadly Sase. Kim Sase Hamar is a Swedish Protoss player from Quantic Gaming who came from the Warcraft 3 scene. He's one of the few European gamers who lived and played Warcraft 3 professionally in China, and now lives and plays StarCraft 2 in Seoul, South Korea. Sase met initial success in stardom when he defeated Naniwa 3-1 in the Road to Korea tournament, earning him a spot in GSL Code A and a trip to Korea. His first major tournament came from the grubby StarCraft 2 Series Pro Invitational, where he was able to take out Stefano, a tournament powerhouse, in the semifinals 2-0. He showed success at MLG most recently in Orlando, where he fought through the open bracket and made it out. In the MLG Winter Arena North American Online Qualifier, Sase finished 4th and earned impressive victories over Sheth in the winner's bracket and Artist in the loser's bracket. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sase's PVZ build order as we head on to duel site. Go ahead and start by making a pylon at 9, gateway on 13, gas on 14, second pylon on 16, and start saving up energy to chrono boost on your nexus. When the gate finishes, make a zealot and throw down your cybernetics core at the ramp as well as another pylon. Sase throws down his third pylon at the ramp to do a full wall off because the ramp on duel site requires an additional building. Continue to build zealots, and when the cybernetics core finishes at 23 supply, start your second gas. As soon as the cybernetics core finishes, chrono boost out one more zealot and start the warp gate research. The fourth unit out of the gateway should be a sentry. Use 2 zealots to chase around the Lings or take a Zelnaga tower, but never overstay your welcome. Always make sure you're blocking the ramp so no Lings can get inside the main base. At 30 supply, send a probe down below the ramp. It's time to secure an expansion. Start with a pylon and then throw down a nexus. If you've been building sentries like you're supposed to, you should have more than enough minerals to build the nexus because sentries only take 50. At around 38 supply, you should have 3 zealots, 2 sentries, and with a third sentry on the way, this is when you can throw down a second gateway at your natural, as well as another pylon, and finally a forge to complete the wall off and use for upgrades later on. At 42 supply, Sase has started the hallucination upgrade. This will provide awesome scouting potential for not much cost. A cannon or 2 always helps, so throw down at least 1, 2 if you feel a roachling all incoming, which you can anticipate if you see low Zergling counts at the start of the game. Once the forge finishes, go ahead and start researching +1 attack, and at around 50 supply, start your Twilight Council. Make sure by around 60 supply you're on 4 gas, and at 65, you've started a robotics facility. As soon as +1 attack finishes, start +2. This build hinges on the quick upgrade. Start to warp in Stalkers around 76 supply if you haven't needed them earlier in the match, and begin researching Blink as well. If you scouted heavy roach production with your hallucinated Phoenixes, go ahead and start making immortals like Sase is, as well as adding on 3 additional gateways around 85 supply. Once +2 finishes and you've got 3 immortals, Blink, enough sentries for force fields, and a whole lot of stalkers, go ahead and move out, but never overcommit to a fight. Only choose to engage when you have the positional advantage. You'll see here that Sase wins because of his force fields, not the larger army supply. can take away from this build are: number 1, practice your force builds and blink control. If you can take out enough units in an attack, you can counterattack for the kill move, and force builds and defensive blinking will help you secure the initial win. Number 2, don't be afraid to send out small forces of zealots to your opponent's expansions. Number 3, if you have a hard time against 3-hatch openings from a Zerg user, a Forge Fast Expand build might be better suited for you. This has been JP McDaniel, and we'll see you next week for some more tips and tricks.
That's it for this edition of MLG Weekly. Tune in next time when we'll bring you more coverage of the world of competitive gaming.